This clip of the Texas Bucket List is brought to you by Spirit of Texas Bank, Slovacek Sausage, Germania Insurance, TX Burger, and RV Source. Howdy, and welcome to the Texas Bucket List, the show dedicated to everything there's to see, do, and experience right here in the Lone Star State. My name is Shane McAuliffe, and this week we start things off up in Big D to see a play with no strings attached. It just happens to feature some merry marionettes. Over at the Hilton Anatole Hotel, you'll never know what you'll find in the sprawling complex with all sorts of secret places. But if you make your way into the large lobby and happen to come across a lone door, you might get a little curious. Like the door to Wonderland. Once you make your way down the spooky steps, you'll find a magical theater in the catacombs of this high-class place to crash.
We wanted to have that old world, 18th century feel, which it certainly has.
John Hopkins is one of the founders of Le Théâtre des Marionnettes, which calls Geppetto's theater in the Hilton home.
A few years ago, an opportunity arose that we could open up a new permanent home, so we partnered with Hilton Anatole and converted this incredible space into the theater you have now.
Hopkins pulled some strings when it came time to finding a new home for his parade of puppets. Since 1991, he's been performing with fellow puppeteers, trying to find a permanent home. Now, he's got the perfect place to see some amazing performances.
Everything in here has a little bit of a history, which is really great. Like even the artifacts in the walls, they're all authentic. Some of them are 100 to 200 years old.
Of course, none of this would be possible without some distinguished dummies. And I'm talking about the one on the right there.
This is a very unique experience. It's a show. We actually interact with the kids in the show before and after. They're getting educated unbeknownst to them as at the same time they're being entertained.
The way to train the puppeteers is calling out emotions. So, you would say sad and, it'd be like, huh, or, happy, and it'd be, just by the way you pull the strings.
These inanimate objects seem to come to life, and they bring with them a story to tell. A story that captures the imaginations and hearts of Texans of all ages.
But have you been here before? No, okay, so from Waco. Okay, so E is going to be the 5th row, and you're right in the middle, okay?
Just about every show is sold out.
Hi folks, how are y'all?
And it's all for a chance to see something that's so old, so foreign. It's as if these stooges on strings picked themselves up, dusted off, and found their way to the Lone Star State.
Puppetry is to the European culture, I guess in the same way that the Muppets are to the American culture. Marionette puppetry in Europe was a tremendous influence. If you went back several hundred years, there's a political environment in Europe that they actually outlawed any live performances because they considered them to be kind of antisocial and anti-establishment, because it was the way people voiced political concerns and awareness. So they just outlawed it. Well, during that time period, this outlaw moratorium on any theatrical performances, puppetry was exempt. There's actually puppet companies in Europe that are, 5, 6, 7 generation marionette theatrical troupes. And this all goes back actually, a couple hundred years, where they started when this moratorium on live theater occurred, and they brought it all the way up to today.
Fortunately, here at Geppetto's, you won't find any performances about foreign policy.
We're not edgy or avant-garde. We are strictly family, fun-friendly, family-based.
What you will find is huge animated faces, watching the great stories that have been passed down through the generations.
Until you've actually seen it and experienced it, it's hard to describe the way it impacts you. It really has a profound effect on most people.
It's just something different that you really just don't get a chance to see, and I really enjoyed it, and I think my daughter did too.
The marionette puppets are certainly unique. You don't see that every day, and it's a really nice job that they do here.
It's up there with Broadway, what can I say?
While standing ovations don't usually occur for these actors who can't even stand on their own, they do evoke a sense of wonder, amazement, and joy, all without having to be attached. to a power chord.
It's a great exposure to live theater for the first time for kids. They're so plugged in and tuned in and wired up these days, and including the adults. It's nice to unplug them and let them see something that's old-fashioned that actually still entertains them.
For the kids, this is such a different thing to do, and it's so much better than cartoons.
You don't get a chance to do anything like this. Who's heard of this? A marionette play.
So there's no reason to string this along. If you're looking to pull your weight when it comes to entertaining your troupe of performers, Geppetto's Theater in Dallas is well worth a stop on the Texas bucket list.
The kids like it, we like it. And pizza afterwards. Just can't beat it.
This is Texas, and we do everything the best anyway, so why don't you come here and see the best puppet shows?
Live theater can do things for you and inspire you ways that you're not going to get on a celluloid surface or on TV or anything else. Live theater is an incredible thing in itself, and this is just a variation of live theater. It's no different than anything else. It's just our actors are a little easier to work with.